ദൈവമാതാവ് പ്രത്യക്ഷപ്പെട്ട വാൽസിയം പള്ളിയെക്കുറിച്ചുള്ള ഒരു ചെറിയ വീഡിയോ ആണിത്. എല്ലാവരും കണ്ട് അഭിപ്രായം പറയുക.
1,000 years ago, lived in the village, and she wanted to do something to honor Mary. Whether, she'd prayed and felt like prayers had been answered, so could she do something? Now, it says in a dream, she saw the holy house in Nazareth where Mary said yes to the angel Gabriel.
Yeah.
Could she build it in the village? So it was built, and people started visiting. So then 100 years after that, they're like, we need to protect it.
Yeah.
Enough people are visiting that we better put something bigger and stronger over the top. So they built a massive, like a church, and it was as big as this whole area. So it was an abbey, and they had monks. The Augustinian order went and they looked after it, and so lots of monks lived there, priests, and they kept it all sort of safe and welcome visitors and pilgrims. 200 years after that, then there were little chapels all over the country that people would visit on the way. Yeah, so they go and stop at one, another, all the way down. And this is the last chapel. So this was built 800 years ago, but it was the most important chapel because it's the last one before you go to the actual shrine. So the belief was people should come here, they should pray, go to mass, confession, and then they're ready to go on to England's Nazareth. So it was a holy place. So they wanted to be ready for that. From about 800 years ago as well, we had our first king visit, Richard. A second, you can check that. Okay, there's a picture of him in the Wilton. There's a beautiful painting in the Wilton diptych. He visited. From then on, all the kings and queens and nobility visited, right the way up to Henry VIII. Henry VIII visited 3 times. Exact dates again, I'm not very good, but you can check when he dissolved everything, so it was before that. He stood in this chapel, and then they would have walked to the village. This is called a slipper chapel, not necessarily because you take your shoes off and you walk. It's also a Roman word for a slip road.
Okay.
So the main road would have been up that way, and then you slip off it to this one. There's a chapel over here that they say apparently, I'm not sure, you better check this, that was the last place that the people with leprosy could go. They weren't allowed any closer. So people would visit, then they would walk the Holy Mile into the village, and then they would visit the Holy House and pray. And Mary was said that anybody who visited my house would experience my joy of the Annunciation, of saying yes to God and bringing God into the world, and also that she would put our prayers before God. Now, Henry VIII then dissolved everything, destroyed everything. He destroyed the little house, you can't see it, the statue was burned, and this one was given to the farmer to have his cows in. So then for about 300 or 400 years it was used as a cow shed.
Okay.
And they built a house onto it. And then there was a lovely lady, Charlotte Boyd. She bought this and the land here, and she was Anglican, so Church of England, but she converted to being Catholic, so she left it to the Catholic Church. By that time, we'd already built a little church in King's Lynn and put a little holy house in it. So there was a bit of a discussion about whether this should become the shrine or that should stay as the shrine. So it was a bit like... But anyway, then this was decided that this would be the shrine. Quite recently, 2017, Basilica status from Pope Francis. So again, check your dates. Yeah, something around about that. But now we're a minor basilica. But in the Middle Ages, so 1400s, this was as important as Rome, Jerusalem, and Santiago. So Walsingham was one of the big 4 pilgrimage destinations. So it was really, really important. Now today we still have millions of pilgrims visit, and most of them come and say the prayers that are answered are to do with family, normally getting pregnant. That's number 1 that we get to hear, and those are current. I had a lovely family who were really nice, and they had some friends who were Catholic Tamils, but they were Hindu. And their friends said they tried for 10 years to get pregnant, they couldn't get pregnant, nothing, they tried everything. And so their Catholic friends said, go to Walsingham, pray in that chapel, and you will get pregnant. And they pointed at the pram, and they said, and we did. So they wanted 50 candles. But now we hear it all the time. It's the most common one to come. People come and tell us, you won't believe, I couldn't get pregnant, I got pregnant, you won't believe, we had problems, we prayed in here, it's fine. Yeah, that's number 1. The other one is relationships. But it makes sense because it was Mary's pregnancy and her hidden time. Also, a lot of people come and say there's nothing here. But actually we had a lovely priest who used to give retreats to Mother Teresa and all her sisters in India. And he said it's not an accident. because in Nazareth, everything would have been hidden. Mary was pregnant, but you wouldn't have seen it.
Yeah.
You know, they didn't know that God was there. They would have just thought she's a normal girl, pregnant in a normal village. And this is the same. It's like nothing. But the spirituality is very deep, you know, and a lot of this is they talk about it being very important for your relationship with God, just one-on-one, and silence and prayer and quiet, everything that Mary would have had when it was just her. Yeah. And I think, you know, I mean, we're lucky if you've been pregnant, you know, you're never alone. It's like you're wandering around and someone's always with you. And that would have been her experience with Jesus. You know, not only did she have her son, but it was God. So that's what she wants for us. Yeah, so that's it. But yes, it's a very important place to pray. But this is the start of your pilgrimage, not the end. A lot of people come here and they go, oh, done, tick. And they never go to the village. So if you can go to the village, go. And it's a mile. It's literally just a mile from here to there. Okay. And as you go up through, if you drive up there, you'll see there's an archway that looks like that. Okay. But it's bigger. It's like 5 times bigger and it's huge. Yeah. And that's the entrance to, it's on the right-hand side of the road. Literally, you drive down this road, it joins another road, keep driving, keep looking right, and you'll see a massive arch. If it's open, you see there's one lonely stone arch left, and it's really tall. I mean, it's taller than these trees. Yeah, and that's the only thing that's left of the abbey that was built over the Holy House. You can go and stand on the place, but there's nothing there now. Yeah, but you can stand there. It's still, if you close your eyes, imagine, it's still there. And lots of people do that, and I have lots of people who are like, wow. The first